It's time to answer that question. How do you use Excel to make a beading pattern? Well, I will admit Excel's not a beading program, but you definitely can use Excel to create a beading pattern. And I'm just using basic 2010 Excel as you see here. Now, once you've opened your Excel, it will kind of look like this. This is me giving you a brief example about how we're going to be highlighting and then shrinking it down to kind of best fit our needs. But here's a better example. See how it's kind of counting it? I'm going a little bit fast, but like 22, 24, 25, 26. Get to where you want. And then you're going to go ahead and grab it right there and just kind of shrink it to where you get your perfect square. Just play with it to where it best suits your needs. Right now, it's just kind of just playing with it a little bit, getting familiar with it, and just adjusting it to how it suits you and how you would like to get yours done. So here I am just kind of showing you how it counts. So I got 13 across. Look at, I'm going 9 down. I just want you to have a better understanding of how your Excel works. So once you kind of get your squares the way that you would like them for your bracelet, now it's a matter of going in and adding your grids because you're going to want to be able to see it clearly. And oh, I'm still playing with adjusting the squares. Okay, so now we're going to go ahead and add the grid. So as I'm scrolling down, you'll see where I'm going to go ahead and click on the grid part so we can have a perfect grid so we can have a better visual. Now this part right here is more optional. This is what I do because about 6 rows in, I want to start shrinking my pattern. So definitely only do this if that's what you're trying to do. The reason why I shrink my pattern is so I can fit the end clasp. When you're finishing off your bracelet, my clasp can fit on it better. Now I'm going to go ahead and highlight everything and just color it in. Now, even if your background is white, just color it in. That way you can kind of gauge it and have a better visual of what you're trying to do. You can always change the color as you do it. So that's the grid I use. That's what I wanted to show you a little close up. Now this right here is what I use to change out the colors, but you always can do more colors. You can kind of custom it. I'm going to scroll it down. You can see right there, it darkens it, lightens it, but I'm just trying to give you guys a better understanding of how that works. So now I'm going to go ahead and show you how holding down control, the button control on your keyboard, can help you highlight multiple things at once, so it's not as much of a tedious task in making your pattern. So watch this. I'm going to go over there and I can change all of that all at once to a different color. So you can kind of play with it, do it how you like. This is me just reminding myself that I need to narrow down my beads closer to the end of my string. That's the control button right there. Now, this is the button that you're going to want to use. You're going to want to hold it down as you're clicking on multiple dots at once to change out the color all at the same time. That will help you get through this process a lot faster than just clicking it one by one and changing the color that way. So now once you get to where you're at, you're going to want to start coloring it in. So now you're going to start having a pattern in your brain and figure out, okay, what do I want to do? Do I want to add a rose? Do I want to add a heart? Do I want to try to make a frog? You're going to use these little squares to design what you're trying to make. So as you're doing that, then you'll have a better visual of what you're trying to do. Now, don't worry about shading and colors yet. I kind of play with shading as we're doing this, but it all takes time. So what I do is I kind of map out my item and then I start shading it in. So example, if I'm doing blues, I want to do various colors of blues. If I'm doing reds, I want to do various colors of reds. The more colors you have, the more defined your pattern will be. So you definitely want to make sure that you're kind of playing with it just right so you can kind of set your pattern in motion. So as you see, I'm going to go ahead and just let you watch for a while, but you'll see as I'm editing how I'm switching around colors and redesigning as I do it. And then once you kind of shrink your pattern, you'll also see you can adjust it as you go or at the very end, because maybe something doesn't look right, but it's easier to adjust as you go or even wait till closer to the end. So here's going to be an optional step. I prefer my patterns to be numbered. That way, if I'm either doing a live video, like live streaming and showing my art, or even if I'm having a quiet day trying to watch TV, it's easier for me to bead. If I already see the numbers out, then I know I need to grab like one dark, two lighter reds, six light reds. Here, I'm going to try to zoom in a little bit in a moment just to kind of give you a better visual. Hopefully, you guys can see. But this is kind of the idea of what I'm going for if I'm trying to number. Now, this part right here is tedious. It's mind numbing, trust me. It is a pain, but I figure through your design and numbering, maybe it would be about the length of a movie, depending on what you're looking for. So it shouldn't really be that bad. I guess it depends what movie you're watching. Hopefully, it's just like an hour long, but I figure roughly about an hour to hour and a half, depending on what you're trying to do. Now, obviously, you wouldn't need a number one by one. You could drag it like that. So I have all my fives. That was the easy one. I just drag it across. If it's ones, then obviously you got to single handedly put one. Now, in the lighter parts right here, I'm going to show you how to go ahead and just make it darker. I like to use black for the lighter areas and then white for that. And a little while ahead, I'm going to go ahead and center my numbers, but I do like to have them bolded. That's another big one. So aesthetic is good for me as well because for the visual and to be able to try to get through this as fast as I can. So it does take a while. I'm just giving you an example. I'm not going to do it the whole way through, but I just wanted to give that option to you so you know what you guys can and cannot do when it comes to making your pattern. Actually, there are not many can'ts. It's pretty much whatever suits your purpose is how you definitely can go about making your pattern. So I hope that this video has helped you. I am going to show you the finished product so you can have an idea. I think I kind of briefly showed it, but I want to give you a better visual of what the item looks like at the very end.